Hello, all. My name is Tammy. I am with Beaded Wind Socks and More. And when I'm not beading, I'm crocheting. And when I'm not crocheting, I'm beading. And this is my first podcast. I decided to start with 10 yarny things about me and basically my intro. I am a pajama girl, except when I go to the store or go out. Is the only time you'll see me actually wearing other things besides pajamas. Okay, so bear with me with that. Okay, um, I create beaded wind socks and other beaded items, which I will cover at a later date and time. And I think you will like them when you do see them. Okay. So, first off on my list is I am born and raised Air Force. I have traveled the globe up until I was 15 from England to California to the Philippines to Oregon, Texas, North Dakota, and then back to California when my dad retired. Um, I enjoyed the different locations except for the Philippines. It was kind of a rough spot due to things getting stolen just simply off the base by taking 10 feet of fence and finding it down in Manila the next morning, turned into all kinds of different things. But other than that, the travels were fun, and I got to see a lot of different places and even picked out some of my favorites, one of them being Minot, and the other one being Vandenberg Air Force Base, where I also met my husband and graduated from. Okay. Number two, as I had stated, I married my soulmate and the love of my life when we were both 19, and I actually met him in Lompoc. And he's been a sweetheart of a guy, and I love him very much. Number three is that the both of us are also survivors of a stillbirth baby back in 1990. We had a little girl at the time. The loss was hard and difficult, but we had each other to help us cope and to deal, along with my mom and a book that my sister Wendy gave to me to read called Good Morning. That's Mourning by Judy Gordon Morrow, Morrow. And when she redid the book, she retitled it Empty Cradle, so it can be found under both titles. It's kind of hard to get past the first two chapters, but once a mother grieving any loss and all does get past the first two chapters, she will sail right through the book. I'm not kidding you. Okay, it was very helpful. I look back on that book many times during our loss, and I even leaned on my mom's shoulder on more than one occasion up until she passed away in October of 92. Okay. I will add a description link to my firstborn's pregnancy, delivery, and what happened in the description box after this. And then you can go to the website and you can go ahead and read what we went through and what happened and so forth. Number four, I have two earthbound daughters, Heather and Betty. Heather is a cross-country truck driver, and she has been for the past 6 years, 5 years. And my youngest one is with the Air Force. She is a photojournalist, and she is currently assigned to the A-10C Thunderbolt demonstration team, where she is touring the country doing air shows, and she is their public affairs officer. And she's having fun with that too. She's getting to see other locations as well. And back in October of last year, before the day they wrapped up the air show, when she left, she pinned on her new stripes as sergeant. So we're quite proud of her with that. Okay, number 5. As I had stated, 4 months after my oldest one was born, my mother passed away, and her passing was listed as a card. It was very sudden and very abrupt, and it was classified as a cardiopulmonary aneurysm embolism. So, depending on who you are in the medical world, basically, she had a heart attack, and it was very, very unrecoverable. She basically she was still breathing and all when the ambulance showed up to assess her, but as soon as they tried to insert an intubation tube to help her breathe, they had to roll her on her back, and it was at that time that she expired, unfortunately. I miss her, and I wish she was here sometimes. Okay. Number 6. I am the owner, creator, and designer behind Beaded Wind Socks. I have designed over 50 windsock patterns. Everything from clouds to bears to kites, balloons, fruit, Easter, Halloween, Christmas, you name it. There's something there for just about everybody. Okay. I also recently started going ahead and doing stitch markers because the beads are so small to use that I can actually make a beaded bead and then turn it into a stitch marker. And it's nice and light. It's not heavy, so it's not going to weigh down your projects when you're working on them. Ornaments, murals, key rings, jewelry, just about anything I can think up. It can be put into beads. At least that's what I'm working on. In 2015, I survived a mild heart attack. Very mild, very subtle. As a matter of fact, the doctor stated that unless it was an expert who had seen the EKG reading, they would never have seen it because it was that invisible. But it was a good thing still that they caught it. I had a stent placed in, and I've been on that road of recovery since. So, in the long run, I also have a backup in the event anything happens. He would be the second one to know. And when he says, get in the truck, he means get in the truck. So, he's one that I love very much. Okay. In 2016, I experienced 2 events. The first was my father passing away, and the second was a fractured wrist. And since then, yeah, I've been having fun with my wrist and doing things. According to the medical report for my father, he had also suffered, or experienced, I should say, a coronary event as well. And his coronary event, according to the doctor, was the same. This second one that he actually had was also unrecoverable. And I miss him dearly. And he was the kind of glue that held the family together after my mom passed away. But we miss him. And our little one, the granddaughter, she also misses him because she enjoyed getting all kinds of surprises from him at Christmas. So it'll be a matter of adjustment, but she's getting there. And I do have a Christmas book that my father recorded his voice on that tells the story of the night before Christmas. And since his passing, what we do is we put that book down in front of her and we have her follow the story while he reads it to her now. And I'm not going to change the recording because I want my father to be the one telling the story, not just to me, but to her. And she understands that. So it's a good way for her to still remember him, even though he's no longer with us. Okay. Later that year, as I said, I also fractured my wrist. 75 hours from onset of injury, I was in having surgery to repair my wrist, and I walked out with a plate and 9 screws. That was fun. I now have physical therapy of doing crafts so that my hand stays limber and does not get stiff and tight, because once it does, I've got to do exercises to loosen it back up, because it doesn't take much for my hand to get stiff. So it's a matter of getting that all done up. So when my hand gets stiff, I've got to get the crafts out and start doing what I can, because I don't want the surgery again. Number 9. My favorite movie is Legend with Tom Cruise and Mia Sara, followed by the TV movie miniseries called Chiefs. It was back in the early 80s. And then All the Rivers Run and Shaka Zulu. I liked those movies back then, where they ran over 3 to 5 nights, and they're powerful impact stories for me, and I enjoy them quite a bit. Although I cannot seem to find Chiefs these days, and when I do, it's not where I can get a hold of it or pay for it or anything else. And it was one of my favorites because of the lesson that was learned in it from the beginning of the movie at the end of the movie. And finally, number 10 is basically my favorite things. Yes, I also like The Sound of Music. And they are cats, especially black cats. I have an absolute passion for black cats. Unicorns, Pegasus, dragons, the color purple. Almost any shade of purple will just absolutely make my day. Yes. And unfortunately, our little one has come to decide that purple is also her favorite color, so I kind of have to share with her from time to time. But you know what? I'd rather do that than tell her that she has to pick her own color. But her backup color, when she can't get anything purple, her backup color is in fact pink, and she has fun with it. Those are the 10 non-yarny things about me. Next time, I will look at doing some shout outs involving some good podcasters and some friends. And I have a feeling that my list will be so long that I may split it up into 2. So look forward to that. And as soon as our spring up here follows through, we will get out the wind socks, and I will show everyone what they look like. They're really, really nice. Okay? So that's it for this segment, and I look forward to hearing some comments. And everyone have a good day. Bye-bye.